tell that while the Hitachins are very attached to Haruhi, you could tell they're more friendly with Tamaki than, say, Mori or Honey. Like, you can definitely see little groups and little friendships within the host club. I think that it's really, really well written, really well spelled out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's your turn.
Is it my turn?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to be random and point to her. I got quite a kick out of that. I think people enjoy having me say things like that too, because in NHK I play the total otaku kid. But yeah, when it was like that whole all the freaking out about what a fanboy or it was in that case it was a fangirl, isn't it? Yes, it's Monica's swirling character that appears from the center of the floor. Yeah, it's just funny. It's funny because it's funny to hear characters in an anime freaking out, like, oh my god, anime fan. It shows that we can at least laugh at ourselves. So, fangirls, what? Are you still correcting me? Sweetie, I have a mommy and a daddy, and I'm too old for them even.
Your turn, I think, right?
No, I just picked her.
No, you?
I just...
Oh no, now we go back to you.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yes, in the red. Costumes?
Oh, you mean of all the outfits they wear? I know mine.
I really like the knight and armor and stuff. That's fun.
I'll tell you the one I think is the most ridiculous. The episode where they all look like they're wearing like kimonos, and the Hitachi twins look like they're in smoking jackets. It's horrible. Of all the things those fashionable boys would wear, they chose the ugliest, most heinous gear ever. No, I love their Cheshire Cat outfits. Oh my god.
Yeah,
when I saw them slithering around the pole in those outfits, I was like, of course the twins are the Cheshire Cat. So
Yeah, mine is a cross between all the Alice in Wonderland stuff, and I did think it was very funny when they wanted to all dress as women to try to... I realized that I may be biased because my character dresses as a woman all the time. I was like, now you get it. But I did think that was very funny.
yes. And
I love the Mad Hatter too. I love Tamaki doing the Mad Hatter thing because when I was in high school I had one of those top hats and I just loved it. So when I saw him in that outfit,
Isn't it when we're dressed as women that we have to sing that operatic thing?
yes.
Yeah. Hold on.
I can't do that. Not today.
Well, it comes you.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that was very funny.
It's Mike's turn again.
Oh, it is?
It's your turn.
Yes.
During production, did you notice any of your past characters starting to creep into the host club?
You mean like voice-wise or like, I don't know, like, for me, like, there gets to be a certain point where if I'm using this particular range and I start screaming, a lot of the screams, like you can hear some of the other things that I've done because you can't, you can only control it so much when you're going, ah! There's only so much. I'm like, okay, that's too girly. Ah! You can only steer it so much. So I think that when I flip out, I might sound like somebody else that I've played before.
I was going to say, a lot of my yaoi-ish characters sound kind of the same. Like, I think the Hitachins sound very much like Satoshi. I think Satoshi sounds a lot like Kaoru Nagisa. I think Kaoru Nagisa sounds a lot like Mikhail from Steel Angel Karumi. But, oh yay, somebody likes the Big Jiggly Show. But the thing about like I said earlier about the characters in Ouran, we don't ever have to worry about, I don't think at any time the Hitachins reminded me of Satoshi because they're very different in personality, and this show's really good at defining who all the characters are. So while he has a similar vocal quality to I think he probably sounds most like, of all things, the other Kaoru. He sounds a lot like my Kaoru Nagisa from the director's cut of Eva, but he's nothing like that character, if that makes sense. So like the vocals are similar, but I don't think the two are confused with one another. Kaudu Nekisa only appears gay, and Kaudu Hitachi is very gay.
You know, very early on in recording, like the first episode, I was working with Caitlin, and she, within like 30 or 40 minutes of recording, Caitlin said, she stopped and she said, you know what, she said, I just thought of something. It just occurred to me that Tamaki is kind of an amalgamation of different characters that you have played. He's got the romantic side, like Dark Mousy. But then he has the very intellectual and articulate side, like Phi from Tsubasa. And then on the drop of a hat, he freaks out and spazzes out like Edward Elric does. So when she...
And also cocky like Kurtz, too.
There you go. So, great, now there are 4 of them. But, you know, she pointed that out, and, you know, I don't fancy myself, I'm not a vocal impressionist. I can't change my voice a lot of different ways. You know, there's some people that can imitate a lot of different voices. That's not really what I can do. And especially when you play serious, like characters, like main characters who have a long story arc, you can't be too funny with their voice, because then, you know what I mean?
It becomes a trick.
It becomes it's not honest, and it doesn't play as well to the audience when you've got serious moments later on in the show. So it was always a challenge for me to be careful not to let Tamaki sound too much like any of those other characters. Now, of course, if you were to lift one line here and one line there and one line here, you could back them up against each other and they would sound similar. But like Greg said, the goal for us is to play the character honestly, is to do the best we can to play the character. Not necessarily to change his voice all the time, but to play the character. Tamaki is not like Ed, and we were very careful whenever Tamaki spazzed out. There was a difference in Ed's spazzes. It was much more falsetto, much more over the top, like that. And Tamaki's was more like that. So, and there's subtle differences, but we tried our best to keep them different. And what I like to compare it to is like Robert De Niro. We've all seen tons of movies that Robert De Niro is in, right? He's played 100 different characters over the years, but he always sounds like Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
His goal is not to change his voice with every character. His goal is to play the character as honestly as he can. So that's kind of our goal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always hear people, I always get mad because I hear people say that about Johnny all the time. They're like, well, it just sounds like Daisuke and Pete. It just sounds like Ichigo. Well, Johnny's voice is Johnny's voice, but here's the thing I've never heard. I've never heard Johnny do a character I didn't believe. The acting was always solid. So I don't really care. I know several people that sound kind of alike. It doesn't bother me that, you know, we only get one voice. We're stuck with this voice. I got a weird one, unfortunately. So.
Well, it's weird that there's like the double standard too. Like, you know, no one, you know, I was trying to think of something recent. Like, you know, no one went and saw Conan the Barbarian and go, that's that guy from Terminator. I totally don't believe it.
I totally hate that. He looks like that in every movie.
Cyborg from Terminator and not Conan, you know.
Yeah.
What's that guy? What is up with this thing?
Yeah, I hate him. He's always hot.
Yeah. I don't believe you. You are the vampire, and that's all I ever see you as is the vampire. You can't be anybody else. It's false.
Oh my God.
And you know what, though? Every once in a while, we get to play little character roles, little bit parts that you're able to do something different vocally with. And I think we all love those kind of opportunities. When you play some little one-episode character and you're able to do something kind of wacky or funny that is not immediately recognized as your voice. Those are always fun to do.
A voice like Negi would be fun for 2 episodes. That's what I'm gonna say about that. But like that's why I enjoyed my character in Alchemist, because I could do he's on screen maybe a total of 20 minutes, but I could sound like a wicked witch.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That did not sound like you,
No.
And those are fun to do. Those
No,
kind of
no.
characters are fun to do.
In fact, my friend argued with her dog. My friend's dog barks every time it hears my voice. And it started barking during Alchemist, and she's like, Scout, that is not Greg. She's like, Greg is not in Alchemist. And the credits started rolling. She's like, well, I'll be damned.